Good afternoon. Like and subscribe if you are awoke, for nothing comes to a man who is asleep but a dream. Knowledge comes from truth, as we all know, but knowledge must be put to use. Knowledge must be put to use in order to bring about change. A lie is not knowledge, and therefore it has to remain constant to be of use. You see, a lie cannot grow, so it has to be made constant by being told over and over and over again until the victim of that lie becomes delusional and they believe that lie. And when you believe a lie, nothing changes. Nothing changes when you believe a lie. A lie does not add up. It subtracts. It takes you down the hill. And that is where the United States is going, down a hill. When Trump said, "Make America great again," he meant go backwards. And this is why he lies, because he takes us backwards. This is why we don't see an end to the police shootings. We don't see an end to murders. We don't see an end to systemic racism. And we have yet to get reparations because we are caught up in the delusion. So what is the delusion? The delusion is that we are not Christians. A man is born a man. A woman is born a woman. A Hebrew Israelite is grown and born a Hebrew Israelite. We can be nothing else. And if we try to be something else, it'll just be an illusion that will keep us where? It will keep us stuck in time. It keeps us stuck in time. We must change to move ahead. Truth is the key to knowledge. What does the Bible tell us in Deuteronomy 28? It tells us that Hebrew Israelites will suffer the curse. And that curse is slavery. It is slavery. We know this. The Romans, did they not murder Jesus Christ, whose real name was Yashua? The Romans, did they not create Christianity and change Yahshua's name to Jesus? Those who are awoke, you know the answer. And the answer is yes. The very people who tortured and murdered Jesus are the very people who 100 years later usurped his name and his teachings and started Christianity. And what did they do with Christianity? They used it to do what? Colonize. They used it to colonize and to delude the people that put their trust in them. But see, we didn't put our trust in them. We put our trust in the teachings of Jesus, Yashua, and they misused those teachings. But how can we change if we do not acknowledge and then actualize that knowledge to bring about change? See, it is the use of knowledge that brings about change. Sitting on knowledge will not improve your situation. You must use that knowledge. You must look the demon in the eye and tell him, you are not I. I am a Hebrew Israelite in accordance to the Bible that you gave me to read, which is my history, not yours. My skin, my melanated skin, absorbs the radiant energy of the sun. When God said, let there be light, there was the sun. And who enjoyed and absorbed the sun more than God's chosen people? Hebrew Israelites, the people with melanated skin. We absorb the radiant energy of the sun. It is not a coincidence that we exceed all people in sports. But let me explain something to you about sports. Sports is 80% physical and it's 80% mental. Sports is 80% mental and 20% physical. There is no such thing as fast twitch muscles. There is a such thing as a fast twitch mind that thinks fast. To move fast, you must think fast. You must be one step ahead. That is what you call speed and quickness. We are God's chosen people. We knew music had a beat, while others didn't realize music had a beat until they saw us dance on Soul Train. Every invention, every new technology was invented by a Hebrew Israelite. We built everything. We made everything. Our ideas were stolen and patented. But see, as long as we maintain the mindset that we are these Christians, we will never succeed. As slaves, we were owned, supposedly owned. And whatever we invented, the so-called slave owner patented and said it was his. Now what do? They give us scholarships, and then we work for a corporation. And whatever we make, the corporation patents that, and we get a pay salary. That is modern day slavery. But to break out of that, we have to realize that we are Hebrew Israelites. We are God's chosen people. We must recognize our superiority, and it is then and only then that we stop begging. When we know who we are, we stop begging. When we actualize that knowledge, we stop begging and we begin to change. You see, To be God's chosen people is to have the Spirit of God within you. It is to have the Spirit of God within you. But you must recognize that you have the Spirit of God. You must recognize that Yashua was a black man. The Bible tells us he had hair white, like the color and texture of lamb's wool. He had feet the color of burnt bronze, which makes him black, which means he absorbed the radiant energy from the sun. And what happens to the so-called usurpers and worshipers of in the synagogue of Satan? Revelations 2:9, Revelations 3:9, who inhabit Israel. They lead the world in what? Skin cancer. They lead the world in skin cancer. They have developed, or probably a Hebrew Israelite developed a synthetic melanin that they put into their skin, which allows them to be out in the sun for a certain amount of time. They can't put too much in there because it will turn them darker. And they want to be white. Isn't this proof that they are not Hebrew Israelites? They have to make an excuse and say that, yeah, we were black, but we lost the melanin in our skin. If you are born a Hebrew Israelite, you are a Hebrew Israelite. And you're not going to lose the melanin in your skin. I mean, unless you, as a Hebrew Israelite, marry someone have children by someone who has less melanin in their skin, then your children will be a lighter color. But your children will still be Hebrew Israelites because it is a superior gene. We have a superior gene. And the superior genes will always manifest over inferior genes. Unless it becomes just so watered down that it loses its melanin. But what I want you to hold on to is this. If you worship Jesus, a fictional Caucasian character that isn't in the Bible, this Caucasian character is not in the Bible. You are worshiping a false representative of Jesus. And if you are worshiping a false representative of Jesus, you are worshiping a false God. You are worshiping the God of Jesus as represented by the Vatican, who has went around the world colonizing people. They called it the Crusades. And then the Pope apologized for what? For the Crusades. But was his apology real? No. They did not return any of the stolen properties. They returned nothing. And people indigenous people had to fight for their freedom. It wasn't given back, they had to take it back. And the colonizers still have not returned what they have stolen. But their biggest thievery is stealing people's identity. Stealing people's identity. Stealing people's sense of self. What is more important than your sense of self and your history? You need that to be whole. You need that to be whole. You need that to be whole. To be who you are, you have to have a sense of who you are. You need it to be whole. You can no longer afford to play in their delusions. Step out. You want change? Step out of their delusions. Their delusions is your illusion. Their delusion is your illusion. Step out of their delusion and you lose the false illusion. And when you lose the illusion, there's nothing left but truth and reality. There is nothing left but truth and reality. Stop calling a white Jesus the Son of God, because he is not the Son of God. And according to Revelation 2:9 and 3:9, that person worshiped in the synagogue of Satan. Let me tell you something else. To be a follower of Jesus is not to belong to any religion, but to carry your religion inside of you. It is your personal relationship with God. That is your religion. If you are a Hebrew Israelite, that is not Judaism. That is a Jew. You to be a Jew, you have to have the blood of Jews. But you see, people of the synagogue of Satan turned the teachings of the Jews, our black history, they turned it into a religion. Why did they turn it into a religion? So they could convert. They turned it into a religion so they could convert. Let me ask you a question. Who decides who is God's chosen people other than God? So can you convert and be God's chosen people? No. You cannot convert and be God's chosen people. You cannot convert and be my brother, my mother, my father, my sister, my cousin. You can't convert and be that. But through truth, if you are a Caucasian, through truth and the acknowledgement of truth, you can become a son of God. If you acknowledge truth, which is knowledge, you can become a son or daughter of God. But let me explain something to you, Hebrew Israelites. We are not kings and queens. We are priests and priestess. We are priests and priestess. That's what we are. So we are spiritual people. So get that. You have to drop their delusion, and don't make their delusion your illusion. You want change. You want the coming of revelations. Then you must begin to change yourself. You must change yourself. You can no longer go to Bible study and acknowledge the fact that Yashua was a black man and then worship a white man. You can't do that and change. Where has Christianity gotten you? Other than fear of taking your hands off the steering wheel when a police stops you. Fear the reality that a police might knock on your door and you might open it and they may rush you in and throw you to the ground. See, what's meant by fearing God means fear not adhering to the truth. Fearing God is fearing to not adhere to the truth and follow the message of God's messengers. That's what it means. Egyptians were Nubians. Egyptians and Nubians are the same people. The word Egypt is an American word. Egypt is Kemet. Egypt is Kemet. And what does Kemet means? It means the black land. It means the black land. And Nubia and Egypt were twins. If you attacked Egypt, Nubians were going to come and restore Egypt back to where it was. And that has been the history of what we call Upper Egypt. But in actuality, Lower Egypt was called Upper Egypt because the river flowed upwards. The Nile River flows upwards. And when we think of upwards, we think of what? We think of heaven. We think of heaven. So, black people, you who are doing Bible study, any pastor, visualize, actualize the truth. Any pastor, any reverend, who teaches Christianity is a false prophet. And the Bible tells you that. And if there's a picture of a white Jesus, he's a false prophet. If you are a Christian, you are a false prophet because Deuteronomy 28 tells you who you are. Eventually, don't wait till it's too late to actualize the truth. Don't wait till it is too late to actualize the truth. Your soul is dependent upon you. I'm going to leave you with this. Within my YouTube channel, Spiritual Philosophy, if you go, you will find all the tools necessary to bring you back home. There will be a post that will tell you that once you realize you are a Hebrew Israelite and you accept the teachings of the Bible, there is a post that will tell you where to find the 10 Commandments. Follow the 10 Commandments. That's the first thing you have to do to actualize. The second thing you must do there is a video on what you are to eat. It lists the meats and things that you can eat. Two things that you need to cut out right now is pork and fish that do not have scales. One of the reasons why you should not eat pork is because when Jesus exorcised the demons out of a person, he put the demons into a swine, and the swines ran over the cliff and died. Swines or pigs were used to exorcise demons out of people and be placed into swines. So it is those three things that you need to do to go home. First, actualize and realize the truth, which is knowledge. You are a Hebrew Israelite, Deuteronomy 28. The people in Israel are worshipers in the synagogue of Satan, Revelations 2:9-9. Leviticus will tell you the diet of what you should eat as a Hebrew Israelite. And I'm going to make another video that's going to tell you how to manifest your spiritual powers. You see, Jesus had spiritual powers, and he gave his spiritual powers to his disciples. And he did not have 12 disciples. He had 82 disciples. I'm going to stop here. I could go on and on because there's much information I want to give you. And it's going to start coming under the heading of Ministry of Truth. But with that, I'm going to end here. Like and subscribe, and be the change, or begin the change that you want to happen. God bless you all. C'est la vie. Catch you later.